My people, welcome to another fascinating segment. I will start this session with a quote from Sun Tzu, the author of the book, The Art of War. He said, if you know your enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. My question to you is, do you really know your enemy? And do you really know yourself? In this video, we are going to address that question. Let's start with this video that depicts the conditions our people are living in. If this video does not touch your heart, nothing else will do. Let's take a listen.
For 7 good years now, so we detained for bush. April 29, 2018, they burn our houses then. They render we homeless till date. That fateful Sunday morning, we'll be doing for church. We just say that they come. Before we run come out for inside church, all sign are gone. All man take na road for bush. Till date, we never turn back for house. For 7 good years now, so we don't live like animals and for farm. Now water this way, we don't drink her for 7 good years. We come back and inside, they don't die for inside. Can't spirogyra the day for inside the water. But thank God, the people them from Muyenge, they don't take bush turner onto their houses. They don't build their houses them for bush. They stay now for bush. They carry out all their activities the way they keep carrying for house now for bush. You know, see how the place they na church this. Even church, they don't open church for bush here. They try all way for say may they live their life as they begin live them for Muyenge. They don't even put street light the way it lead for their career for. Yes, you know, see them.
My people, that is the conditions our people are living in Muyenge. This is their story. This is our story. This is a critical time for reflection. Whether you live in the southern Cameroons, whether you live in the diaspora, this is a critical time of reflection. 10 years is gone. Sun Tzu said, if you know your enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. We repeat this line often, but we rarely pause and ask whether it is actually true of us. We say we know the enemy. We understand La République du Cameroon. We understand their system. But my question for you is, do you really understand your enemy? We say we know ourselves, but really, do we really know ourselves? That is the question we all should be asking. Because in reality, we know neither ourselves nor our enemy. If we truly understood the enemy, most southern Cameroonians or Ambazonians don't understand La République du Cameroon. Issa Churuma Bakari thought he could fight that same system. He's on exile right now. He lived and worked in that system as a minister. To understand a system like that, you need to study. Even if you've worked for La République du Cameroon, you do not understand La République du Cameroon. If we truly understood the enemy, we will not keep applying the wrong strategies to the wrong system. We will not expect a French-style state to respond like a British or American state. We will not believe that moral exposure alone collapses authority. We will not assume that silence from elite means weakness, or that disorder produces freedom. Some say the only choice we have right now is the gun. Really? You see the depth of clarity I've brought to us for 65 years? Some take this lightly. You go to church, all you see is a pastor and a Bible, and lives are being transformed globally. You go to court, you see just a judge and a book, and he gives orders that changes people's lives forever. He doesn't have a gun. Clement Atangana, all he did was come in with a piece of paper and read the election results that changed the emotions of Cameroonians forever.
For years, so now carry for this all stores and then for year business places and then for year even story building Carabot house they buy cocoa then for year people the way they fry egg. They fry egg for bush here. They dry fish for bush here. Sell them for people them. People that the way they cook chop too as well. The carry for they very busy. Yeah, cocoa buyers and so they for bush here. They buy cocoa for people the way they produce them for bush here. Yes, even Jambo people that to the day. You know say any way you the day. Small gambling must be. They say beer, whole beer for year. They use na solar system for year. Where they carry all team fridge, television. Yeah, for year na some snack this where they say beer. On a see the inside for the snack quality chairs as well. Yeah. For year, for evening time, people that they can't joke when they go to bush, they come back, they want rest, they can take that one man, yes, for this snack. They born even so yeah for night, yeah, during the day, they setting, they in charge our phones, activities they go on. But the saddest thing I say, school no they go on. A lot of people they for bush here, small people there they been in for the go school, but school no they go on. Since April 29, 2018, where they born Muyenge, today the people they don't suffer, they live in sorrows. If you come for bush here, plenty small people the way they need for the go school, they know the go school because of say school no day for bush here.
It is hard sometimes to watch these images. This is our story. Again, 70% of the problem is with us. 20% is with La République du Cameroon for extending their administration into a UN trust territory without a union treaty. 10% is with the UN for not making sure that a union treaty exists, and they allowed La République du Cameroon to extend their administration into southern Cameroons. Some told me that there are some leaders in our community that will rather perish than change their mind. I mean, this is our people. They understand you. You who claim you are a leader. They know that you will rather perish. That means our people will perish than for you to change your mind. And I want to say this to our people. You have the responsibility to detach yourself from such people. You are not forced to listen to them. You are not forced to obey them. If you realize that they have these tendencies, detach yourself from them, even if they've been your best friend from class 1. If not, you will go down with them. It's that simple. So if our people know this about ourselves, then you should understand why we are struggling. Some told me that, oh, they will kill me. Kill me for what? If there is anything, everyone should be happy with me. La République should be happy with me. Every other nation on earth should be happy with me because I'm bringing about clarity so we can find freedom. A relationship that was not legally consummated should not go on that way. Everyone should be happy. Southern Cameroonians should be happy. Why should people come up with solutions and you think they should be haunted? Does that make sense? Change that reasoning. The world is struggling. Elon Musk came up with electric vehicles. We should be happy with him. Donald Trump said, oh, let's protect our genus. We have been raised culturally and psychologically to fight leadership. So when I'm exposing these things is to help you have an awareness so that the change happens fast. Not that you remain the same way. If you heard that Judas betrayed Jesus, you say, oh, what did he do? Okay, I will not do that. not that you follow the script. Do you understand? We have been raised that way to fight leadership and not build it, to distrust institutional thinkers, not protect them. That is why when someone come up with a discovery, they will kill them. We have this rhetoric because of how we are wired. So you reverse that thinking pattern. To mistaken volume for authority, those with loud tone, we believe they are saying something true, whereas they are not. We mistake passion for strategy. Most of our leaders for the past 9 to 10 years just have passion, not strategy. We realize this and then we ask the question, how can we implement a strategy in what we do? We confuse resistance with governance. We confuse suffering with progress. We think if we talk about the number of people dying, how La Republic is treating us, the world will hear us. This is how all our write-ups look like. I've read almost every document circulating in the community on this subject. People think if we have suffered, the world will hear us. The world doesn't listen to that. What will you do if you realize that the world doesn't listen to suffering? They listen to order, they listen to structure, they listen to institutions, they listen to strategy. You change. You don't say, somehow they will hear me in my suffering. Even Jesus Christ reminded us that you will have tribulations in this world. Now, how you carry yourself in that process does matter. Some believe that if the economy of La République du Cameroon collapses, we will automatically be free. I don't understand the rationale behind that thinking, but this is what people believe in our community. Others believe that if more of our people die, liberation will come faster. The only solution is the gun, nothing else. That is what they think. That is how they believe about the war. That is what they really believe about the war. That is not strategy, that is desperation. You can feel that in their tone. And especially those who are becoming old, they are very desperate. That is why they are not in the best position to negotiate on anything about the struggle, about the future of Southern Cameroons, which is our authentic history. Freedom is not produced by collapse alone. It is produced by capacity. History is clear on this. When systems collapse and there is no institutional readiness, the result is not freedom, it is vacuum. The UN not supervising the decolonization process to the end in Southern Cameroons left a legal vacuum, not freedom from La République du Cameroon nor Southern Cameroons. So they extend their administration and want to make laws based on what they understand a state should look like versus how we see a state. Before we continue watching that video, I want us to be honest with ourselves. 70% of this struggle is internal. 20% lies with La République du Cameroon. I've mentioned that. 10% lies with the international system, including the United Nations. This is not self-blame. It is self-knowledge. Knowing yourself. And without self-knowledge, no amount of courage can save a people. Let me repeat that slowly. Without self-knowledge, no amount of courage can save a people. The greatest weakness of our community is not oppression alone. It is our habit of destroying morale among those who think, organize, and structure. We We celebrate anger more than discipline. We reward defiance more than responsibility. We attack those who slow us down to build institutions while praising those who rush us into exhaustion. The 83-year-old elder who called me a couple of days ago, that conversation has really left a mark on me, because they created the society we find ourselves in. He said they were around with furniture. What changed? What did you do? Look at those who are in their 50s and in their 60s. They are a classic depiction of the society we've raised, we've created. In as much as I have empathy because of how old he is, but all he carries around is his age. I'm 83. I say, yes, I know. Nicodemus was 70. He came to Jesus. Jesus Christ was between 30 and 33. At night, he was a teacher of the law, a teacher of the ruling council of Israel. But he had some questions. That all these things you say, they come from God. But how can we make progress? And he told him, you have to be born again. And he asked Nicodemus, you are a teacher of the law and you don't know those things. Oh, for us in our community, that is insult. You speak to an elder like that. You are a teacher of the law, of the ruling council of Israel, and you don't know these things. This was the conversation between Jesus Christ and Nicodemus. That is in John chapter 3, verse 1, right down to 21. I encourage everyone in our community, if that is the only passage you ever read in the Bible, that is very important as to where we find ourselves today. John chapter 3, verse 1 to 21. Study that conversation between Jesus and Nicodemus. This was a man in his 30s and a man in his 70s. You are a teacher of the law. We only look for those soft, nice parts that we go listen in church, right? About God, about Jesus Christ. No, study his work. It is not an insult. I have not insulted anyone on this platform. All I've done is bring about clarity and challenge ideas here. There are many things I've been told about people's personal life, but that has nothing to do with what I'm doing here. Every message I share on this platform has something to do with our growth and our progress. So we attack those who slow us down to build institutions while praising those who rush us into exhaustion. So Sun Tzu did not teach noise, the art of war. He taught preparation. He did not teach emotion. He taught positioning. He did not teach sacrifice for its own sake. He taught winning before the battle begins. But let me repeat that for those who believe only the God will save us. The man who wrote the greatest book on war more than 2,000 years ago, he did not teach sacrifice for its own sake. He taught winning before the battle begins. Knowing ourselves means admitting that passion without structure has failed us. Knowing the enemy means accepting that shouting at authority does not dissolve it. Every morning we wake up and do the same thing, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Albert Einstein said that was insanity. And knowing the moment means understanding that institutions must be built before freedom can be sustained. That is why civic authority matters. This is why sequencing matters. This is why discipline matters. Until we learn and stop fighting leadership and start building it. Some said citizens of La Republique have failed Issa Chiroma Bakari. No, nothing happens without leadership. Let me repeat that slowly. Nothing happens without leadership. Anything that you are using today, you can trace that to one man who was the leader and the initiator of that idea. Whether it is a microphone, a camera, a country, a movement, you can trace that to one person. Nothing happens in this world without leadership. Because in the Anglophone zone, we have been raised to think leadership means nothing. We believe that is how Francophones are wired. Even if that leadership is corrupt, at least it has produced something for them that has helped structure their life. They will not jeopardize that because a group of people that don't understand leadership say go on the street and march. They will be very skeptical hearing you, who have been labeled as their enemy, give them directions on what to do in times such as this. If Issa Chiroma Bakari had the leadership capabilities, he would have led their people to freedom. But from what they are seeing, they have two problems to deal with. Number one, the lack of leadership on the part of Issa Chiroma Bakari. Number two, pressure from Ambazonia to go on the street and march. This gets them to say, no, we have to wait and think. You don't see this because of our own programming. And knowing the moment means understanding that institutions must be built before freedom can be sustained. People don't understand these concepts. They are hearing this, it is strange to them because of their programming. This is why civic authority matters. This is why sequencing matters. This is why discipline matters. Until we learn to stop fighting leadership. We have the British heritage. They believe in institutions. We don't. Until we learn to stop fighting leadership and start building it. I appreciate your comments under these videos. I read each and every one of them. Every comment you write, I read them. I appreciate your support. Those who have been reaching out via WhatsApp. You are the ones that will build Southern Cameroons. It starts from understanding materials like this. No enemy needs to defeat us. We will keep defeating ourselves, but tell a different story. After each mistake, we persuade ourselves that it is because of one trick that La Republique played. It is because of one trick that France or the colonial masters played. That is our paradigm. And yet nothing changes. Look at the condition our people are living in. Every time, just immediately we make a mistake, we find an explanation as to how the enemy came in. Issa Chiroma Bakari did not become president. Oh, there was some trick that France was playing in the background. That is our mindset. So people would think that I came to be part of what is going on. No, I came to press reset so that we can think and start building. Some say, oh, we have been here since 2016. No, we appreciate the effort. But effort, my people, is not equal to institutions. Effort is not equal to strategy. There are people who tried for years to build the airplane. But do you know who they give credit to? The Wright brothers. People who never went to school to study how to manufacture airplanes. Pierpont Lamy, I think that is the name. He was the individual who had the knowledge to produce airplane. He never succeeded. So we have to praise him because of effort. No, praise structure, wisdom, clarity, direction. Without that, our society will continue to produce poverty, poor people, people that can only play at the level of Southern Cameroons. My goal is that at the end of the day, once we are done with all this, the next young man or woman that is coming after me have some solid foundation to stand on and see the world. Not that when they are rising, I dim their light, I fight them. No, when they are rising, they have something solid that has never been seen in the history of Southern Cameroons to stand on and then see the world. That is where we are going with this. And some of you see, oh, leader, that's all you see. President, that's all you think. Builds a country. If we don't reset, we will only keep producing heroes and not leaders. We think we have leaders in our community. No, we have been producing heroes. This is the dispensation we will start producing leaders. The first time in the history of Southern Cameroons. Let's keep listening, but there is a lot for you to get out of this video. We are going to bring in Gojin Dinka, the founder of Ambazonia, because his ideas controls those who are in the leadership circle of Ambazonia and they don't know it. We'll bring him in this conversation and you hear how he thinks about this whole story of Ambazonia. Let's keep listening.
They live in sorrows. If you come for bush here, plenty small picking the way they need for the go school, they know the go school because of say school no day for bush here.
Look up. Now Batibo, see Batibo and you go and cry. Now Batibo municipal stadium, this country people. Now the fever 2018, where Joe Namatanji Tem Joseph, when Naibi be the divisional officer Bobaribo, they take it for year country people, they go with them today. They don't see their body, they don't see even a place where they be buried or who say they no man no sabi. Now for the feed is where boy they become with gun, they can't carry. Now road that way they go for the feed, it shine because people they don't come out clear them. Now about Batibo Municipal Stadium this. Now they were Amos they will match every 11th of February and 20th May. And if they care about them, they will match now there. But now as we talk now so country people, it shows say it is so. Batibo people they now man will go clear the fee, you know they. And for backside they detachment we kill them. It every day. People they even they can't tie God no green for chop the grass because the grass it don't really it don't look up. Now, how do you enter for fee? Oh, Majem Basao, they reply another year. Mayor's Kobo, Mbandam's Kobo, now for year they will reply. Mogamo Unity Kobo, now for year where they will reply for Batibo Municipal Stadium. But now, as at the textile Chakavona, now the stadium that they have.
That is our community, my people. How do you think this problem will be solved? I'm asking you this honest question. I don't want to speak with us in anger. I'm just passionate. I'm passionate about us changing. Not accusation. I'm not accusing anyone. I told you I spoke with the elder. The senior citizen is 83. They created this society we find ourselves in. It's not your fault. You inherited this. So no matter the school you went to, you came back and they told you, keep that on the side and listen to what I say. This is what they've created you to be. I'm glad that I was raised by a father that did not make age a big deal. I told you he's 4 years older than Pobia. He never made age a big deal, but the quality of my thinking and the quality of my reasoning, that is what mattered. So because my father is 4 years older than Pobia, and this is the man who raised me, made me to understand that it's about what you bring on the table, not about how old you are. So if you come to me and you place your age on the table, do you think I'm going to receive that? And there's problem in our community and you say, oh, well, how old is that man? This is the language in our community that only produces mediocrity and poverty. So we should be patient with ourselves, even while we cry for international help. Let's help ourselves detox from this thinking first. Now, look around us honestly. That is the field in Batibo. Batibo has been affected enormously by this crisis. We all know it. You can't deny it. Look at our community. We face deep challenges. This is a fact. Lack of jobs. This is a fact. Poor roads. This is a fact. I watch this footage every day. Like, see people with talent. What is wrong? Families under strain. Pressure everywhere. People don't know if they will make it the next day. And yet, we somehow convince ourselves that we are making progress. No, we have gone way back behind. Even in our communities today, married women are sleeping outside their homes. Married men are sleeping with other women outside their homes. This is the calamity our society is experiencing. Children growing up without fathers. These are not political slogans. These are human realities that we are facing. I remember when I graduated from the seminary, some pastors in our community at that time were threatened. Some were excited for me, but others were threatened that, oh, another pastor. Some did not even want to lay hands on me. It was a white man in his 70s at the time that ordained me in his church. Some were threatened. Mind you, I never had interest in this pastoral job or becoming a clergy. It was after fire burnt my home. A senior pastor in the community. This was no ordinary pastor. He had a doctorate degree in divinity. And God showed him that this young man is needed in the kingdom of God. It was not something I got up and I started feeling like, oh, I should become a pastor, proclaim myself as a pastor. No, I had no plans about that. Just like this crisis, I was going about my life until my relative was kidnapped. And then I came in and started looking at the problem, started studying the problem, started understanding the country, going way back as 1,600 years, 4,000 years to understand my Tika heritage. Just to have perspective on where we are, why we are where we are, and how we can make progress from here. Because I throw my all into anything that I do. Like the senior citizen met me, he didn't know about Tika. It's a classic depiction of that conversation between Nicodemus and Jesus. You are a teacher of the law. You don't know Tika. You are 83 years old. You don't know Tika. And you are from the northwest. You don't know the meaning of Tika. And he thought it was a Balinese. And I had to explain to him his genealogy, his ancestors, Titam II, that carried the sacred stone from Sudan to Bambavia to the Bamenda Highlands. I had to explain to him his own story, and he's 83 years old. And God took me on this journey because he knew I'll be dealing with people that will have an issue because of how old they are. This is our community. In moments like this, someone steps forward to help our community, to research, to document. My brother, look at the work that I have single-handedly done on this platform. to clarify a history that has remained hidden or misunderstood for over 60 years. The natural response should be collective reflection. Instead, too often, the effort is treated as a threat. People are threatened instead. We need help. Look at sin in our community, but yet they didn't want me to be a pastor. And a white man had to ordain me. They were not happy that more people are coming in. There are some people in the Ambazonian group right now. They are stuck, don't know what to do, but they see an individual like me. Instead of being happy, they are threatened. That's why I discard all your leadership, the things that you hold dear. God has a place for me. Are you the next hero? I'm not the hero. I just want to see our people thrive. And someone worried like, oh, please don't betray us. No, I got myself under control. To get to this level and say the things that I say, I got myself under control. Worry about yourself. Worry about your children. Worry about your future. Do not worry about me. I got me. To get to this level and say what I'm saying, you don't need to worry about me. That, oh, they'll bribe me. No. They've tried. They've tried to sway me, change my message. But no. At the end, glory goes to God, not to man. Some people hear the facts and adjust their thinking. That is good. That is growth. Others cling to labels and identities even when evidence challenges them. That is human. I know that is human nature. But why God made you the way he made you is because he wants you not to cling to your human nature, but change. Because this is costly. It is very expensive to live that kind of life where you can't change. My people, this is a third world country. If there is anything you change fast, there is no way you can be stuck on any idea that is not working when we are struggling like this. We should find little security in this condition. Say just 9 to 10 years now, we'll remain Ambazonian. No, change fast. And that is why God has been taking me through these changes to show you all how you ought to be changing in order to find a solution that will bring about transformation. And then there is a more painful group that I see. Those who see the problem clearly. Those who say we need courageous men to stand up and solve this problem. They say that. Yet, when such men begin to stand, they are discouraged, undermined, or dimmed by these same people. Not because the people who stand up are wrong, but because their presence unsettles familiar roles. People who have held to a role, they are threatened by that. This contradiction is what destroys us. I want help. I want change. I want a leader to show up and help us. But at the same time, I'm threatened when that leader shows up. This is the kind of man you need to stand before that international community and before any organization or institution that is calm, factual, pragmatic, and say, what is the issue here? This is what our people have been going through. This is what the UN left unresolved. And this is why we are here to solve this problem. Because we want transformation here, not only for ourselves, but for the well-being of the world. We need leaders like this. If you deem people like me, you will suffer. I want to say this openly to Southern Cameroonians. If you fight people like me, you will suffer for hundreds of years to come. And if they exist in any of your group and you are dimming their light, you will suffer. We say we want leadership, but we do not allow leaders to stand among us. You said you know yourself, you know La Republic. I'm helping you to understand your contradictions. We say God should send us help. We've said that. Only God will solve this problem. No, God will use people to solve a problem. He used Jesus even. I don't know how you want God to solve a problem on earth when he created you. He will only solve every problem through you, through people. And they will be born in your community. You will see them run naked in your community, become men, and get to solve your problems. So that you remain humble in that process, because the same child that was running becomes a leader that helps you. We say God should send us help. We scream, we shout, we pray. Yet when someone rises from within our community, we ask, who are you? Who is your father? You are younger than us. We went to the same school. Some say that. We saw you grow up. We knew your parents. Was the son of a carpenter. Let me ask you something honestly. Do you think the leaders you admire globally fell from the sky? No, I'm asking you honestly. Did Donald Trump fall from the sky? Did Paul Biya fall from the sky? Were they not born in families, my brother? They were born into families. Were they not raised in communities? Is there any human on earth leading that was not raised in a community? There is none on earth. Settle with that. Were they not once ordinary people? I'm asking you. And did others around them not know them? Because they could identify Jesus and say they know you. At 12, he was there debating with elders in the synagogue. So what kind of thinking rejects leadership simply because it is familiar? That is not wisdom. That is fear dressed up as tradition. The kind of thinking that rejects leadership because of familiarity is not wisdom. That is fear dressed up in tradition.
Of Batibo inside Batibo Central Town for Batibo Municipal Stadium. Na so iron there, Veteran Football Club Batibo. Na here they be the trainer. Una see una figo cry. They don't abandon them because no man no see them that side. For see how if he do for look am. Well, Batibo, 1 chances, 2 chances. Amy, leave am so my boy.
To those who come here and say some elders in our community know because they studied in UK, they studied in America. My people, there are many that I have seen and heard that studied in all these countries, but yet don't know. And it is okay. We teach. I want you to listen to the founder of Ambazonia. And then we will wrap this up. We'll get into the leadership structure between La République du Cameroun and Southern Cameroon, France, Britain. So you have perspective as to what we are missing out. But this is the founder of Ambazonia. How he thinks is a classic reflection on how most of our leaders in the Ambazonian camp think. We make adjustments. I'm your friend. I want the best for you. and we have been on this side for too long. I want us to have perspective so we can make progress. Everything I'm saying here is out of love. Let's take a listen.
Vitalize to bring back Amazonia. And he got these people to pass a law thinking that they were wiping it away, only to find out that the black and white of interpreting that law means the United Republic of Cameroon is extinct, and it means the union of the two countries that form United Republic of Cameroon has been dissolved, and once that union is dissolved, the two countries that formed it become free. And that is why La République de Cameroon, which was no longer existing, came back into force.
One thing I want you to pay attention again is how old he is. That means from the time he had the idea Ambazonia, some say, oh, it was this individual who came up with the name. No, he took that name, created a movement with that name, and this is what we are going with. I want you to pay attention to how old he is. That means from the time he started the movement to this point, he had refined his ideas. So at this age, what we are getting is the best version of his thinking. So I listened to how young he was and what he said, and then how old he is right now and what he's saying. And I'm able to make a distinction. This is how you understand the timeline of somebody's life and what they really stood for. Let's continue listening.
Ipso jure, automatically, without any need for anybody saying anything, the British Southern Cameroon came back into force with its constitution.
How did the two countries come together, by the way?
The two countries came together by a fraud of the British. I'll tell you how it happened.
Do you think you can say something like this before international diplomats? We never legally came together. We were in the process of coming together. That process was not completed. That is our story. Then how? Not by fraud of the British. Propaganda runs our community. It runs our lives, runs our mind. That is the biggest problem we have. People are always after us. People are always looking for a way to trick us. When you've categorized yourself as a victim, it is hard for you to think straight in life. A plebiscite was conducted. We voted overwhelmingly to join La République du Cameroun. That is your history. We never legally joined. Why? Because they ought to have a tripartite conference. During that tripartite conference, we ought to ratify a union treaty, sign a union treaty. Southern Cameroons, La République du Cameroun, the foreign state, and the UK ought to sign, ratify, and register a union treaty under Article 102 of the United Nations Charter. That never happened. After the plebiscite on April 21st, 1961, the resolution 1608 was issued confirming the result of the plebiscite. And that resolution ordered that the next step, the tripartite conference, negotiations should be carried out and a treaty ratified before October 1st, 1961. Do you choose to gain independence by joining? If the terms are not fulfilled, we never join. Full stop. La République extended their administration into UN trust territory without documentation. So no taxation without representation moving forward. No gentleman agreement, nothing. But listen to how your elder explains that. Do you see how accurate this history is? the summary I have given you. Now listen to him. When your message is mixed with lies, uncertainty, confusion, you only produce a movement that reflects that thinking. You only create a society that reflects that thinking. But when your message is accurate, with precision, facts, simplicity, you create a country, a nation that reflects that thinking as well. It's that simple. Take a listen.
We got self-government in 1958. Southern Cameroon had self-government. British Southern Cameroon. We had established a modern democracy, parliamentary democracy in our country. And
he uses the word country. A country must have an army and must be able to negotiate their foreign affairs. We never did that. We still had British administration, British supervision, leading to 1961. Truth sets people free before any gun that you can imagine, whether it is AK-47. Truth sets people free. Take a listen.
An upper house of traditional rulers called House of Chiefs, an elected House of Assembly, and a government headed by a prime minister. Now, in 1960, Southern Cameroon became independent.
Let me stop right there. Southern Cameroons became independent in 1960. That is the founder of Ambazonia. Listen to that. Some people miss this. Southern Cameroons became independent in 1960. Some of you who went to school and studied history, is this accurate with the events that happened in Southern Cameroons? If we gained our independence in 1960, what happened on 11 February 1961? And the question the United Nations asked us about our future and about our independence, my people. He knows what he's doing. That is our people. When somebody speaks automatically, or maybe they've gone to school, have some degrees, automatically we believe they know. That is our community. Detox from that kind of thinking. Some of you think that some work has been done and I'm coming to complete it. Nah, brother, if there's anything, we have added more work, that I'm resetting our minds, our foundation, our institution, to start all over again. The work is heavy. Some of you think, oh, some people have already done something so powerful that now you're coming to claim credit. No, the work is heavy. People are dying every day. Thousands of our people have died. Our people are suffering. They are refugees. This was not the condition they were in. Some have lost sovereignty abroad. They've lost their freedom abroad. They are in prison. If there is anything, we are at a deficit. Fear has swept over the entire community. Some people don't even take this into consideration. Our people are very fearful right now than you can ever imagine. I speak to them. I hear them. I listen. They are filled with fear everywhere. And you think this is progress. You guys wake up. Wake up. Stop deceiving yourselves. Let's continue listening.
With the promulgation of the Southern Cameroon Constitution Order in Council. Coincidentally, I'm seeing a copy of it place here. This is the Southern Cameroon Constitution Order in Council. It was launched, it came into effect on the 1st of October 1960. This
On the 1st of October 1960, not 1961. And this is what I want you to understand, my people. Any document that is not official, that means approved by the United Nations, is not legally binding in our situation. Let me repeat that slowly for the legal minds. Any document about countries on earth must be legally binding and approved by the United Nations. Whatever you have heard that is not legally binding and the United Nations doesn't approve, that document is not valid. And that includes the draft constitution generated by Amadou Ahidjo. You cannot draft a constitution that has to do with two nations coming together in Yaoundé, and then you come to Fumban conference, and then you go back and think you can use that to declare federation and a union, and that is legally binding, a gentleman's agreement. It doesn't work like that. Do you understand? Do you understand? We trap ourselves. Ambazonia has trapped us more in the cage of La République du Cameroun than free us. Because Ambazonia assumes a union exists, and he's explaining that. Ambazonia is, that's why you turn around and say, oh, this leader from Ambazonia has been bought. Do you know why you say that? Because the movement was designed to trap you. That is why you might say, oh, this leader has been bought. La République has bought this leader. The movement is designed to bind us to La République du Cameroun. Let me repeat that slowly. The Ambazonia movement is designed to label us as secessionists, to bind us with La République du Cameroun. And so we are trying to break away. That is how the Ambazonia case movement is framed. And that is the effect, that is the consequences of that idea. So even if we go for next 10, 15, 20 years, it will be the same thing. We press reset. Do you hear that?
same day, the Nigerian Constitution, Order and Council launched Nigeria onto independence.
So we gain independence the same day. And if you go into any library on earth, whether it's in Britain or in America, you can find proposals, documents that were proposals, that this is how things were supposed to be. I mean, this is aside of what he's saying. But those proposals are not legally binding. Just like the constitution that Amadou Ahidjo drafted is not legally binding. Just like the proposals Ambazonians have drafted, you might see that piece of document in the next 10, 15, 20 years and say, oh, this is what this country was supposed to do. Like, it's not legally binding. And if the UN receives any document from Ambazonia, and it doesn't mean they institute it into law, so it is not legally binding. Do you understand? That is law. Now, let's dive into the leadership structure in Southern Cameroons, La République du Cameroon, because, you know, we were colonized by Britain. So our leadership structure somehow should emulate Britain. While La République du Cameroon, their leadership style and structure should somehow emulate France. So if you don't understand Britain well, it is hard for you to understand Southern Cameroons. If you don't understand France well, it is hard for you to understand La République du Cameroon. They might not have exactly what France has, but that structure came from there. Because I have studied France well, I understand La République du Cameroon well, including their citizens. Because I have studied Britain well, I understand Southern Cameroons and what we are missing. Now, Britain believes in institutions before individuals. Power is meant to endure, not shout. Leaders come and go, but institutions remain. That is why these developed nations work. That is why Britain works. Authority is respected because it is restrained by rules. That is Britain. America, let me explain because most of us are in America. America believes in individual liberty. But take note now, authority must justify itself constantly. That is why after 4 years, they conduct elections here. And leadership is accepted only when it protects freedom. That is the American mindset. France believes in the authority of the state. That is France. And if you see Paul Biya and the citizens of La République du Cameroon, they follow a similar thinking pattern. Order comes first for them. Stability is valued above debate. So we think we will come in with our debate and then things will change. No, stability first. France believes in the authority of the state. Order comes first. Stability is valued above debate. Once the state decides, in France, questioning the process is treated as a threat. La République du Cameroun inherited French-style authority, but without France's institutional discipline. That is what they are missing. Power is centralized in Yaoundé. Authority is personalized in Paul Biya. Silence is preferred to debate. That is why if you obstruct the state, you go to jail. Order is enforced, not negotiated. That is the mindset. And Southern Cameroonians see this differently. We are different. And let me explain. We speak the language of law, consent, and institutions, but too often we practice the habit of personalities because we've grown in a system where we've never really had a leader in Southern Cameroons after independence. Foncha, they lived under British supervision. So we've never had leadership in Southern Cameroons. And we've always distrusted the government in Yaoundé because they never legally came together with us. So we've always seen them as an enemy. So we've never had leadership in the Southern Cameroons as independent individuals or independent state. Now, we speak the language of law, consent, and institutions, but too often we practice the habit of personality, emotion, and noise. This is the language we speak, but this is what our actions reflect. We want British-style institutions, but we behave without institutional discipline. We want American-style courage, we desire that, but without structure. We don't have structure. You see, my people, why you enjoy the game of soccer, I know most of you are soccer fans. You enjoy soccer because of the rules. That you can't just think of picking up the ball with your hands. They will give you a card. So we set up principles around that game so everyone can enjoy it. That 11 players this way, 11 players this way. We have a referee. We have the linesmen. These are all structures that helps that game to go through smoothly. We don't want that. Everyone is King Kong among us. And that is why I'm bringing about these structures, frameworks, so that we can play the game well. Without that, 100 years, we will still be here. Imagine you had to pick the ball with your hand. You think about maybe we should put 11 players this way and 10 this way. it obstructs the purpose of the game. Soccer is enjoyed because of structure. La République du Cameroon and their citizens understand that. Foundation, we don't. Everything is to protest, rally, shout, pick up a gunfight. So, we want American-style courage, but without structure. We criticize French-style authority, yet we reproduce chaos that invites it. This contradiction weakens us. So let me ask a simple question to you. I know you're knowledgeable enough. Can Britain and France be one country? Can they truly live together as one political system? Historically, the answer is no. Why? They have different political grammars, different relationship to authority, law, and the state. Different. They are approached different globally. They speak different globally. Britain and France. Even corporations between them require careful negotiations. If Britain and France cannot simply merge into one system, how did we convince ourselves that incompatibility in leadership culture could be forced together without consent, clarity, and structure? This goes for those who are Southern Cameroonians who have become Cameroonians by learned acceptance as well. This brings me to something essential I wanted to touch on, which is why Southern Cameroon's civic authority framework matters. The SCCA. For decades, we've had passion. That is good, but without structure. Courage without coordination. And resistance without institution. This is why progress keeps collapsing. And it collapses into internal conflict. The Southern Cameroon Civic Authority Framework, the SCCA, exists to correct that. It's like that structure so we can play soccer well. Life was not meant to be a battle, but to be enjoyed, and so is politics. Life was not designed for us to move around the world thinking that everyone is after us. So the Southern Cameroon Civic Authority Framework is not a political party. It is not a personality cult. It is not a shortcut to power. It is an institutional scaffolding. A scaffolding. A way to restore order, discipline, and lawful representation while the larger political question remains unresolved. Every serious society does this. They do this first before it claims authority, not after. So before you created the IG, this would have been the first instrument to create and make sure it works before we go on to create a government in exile, before we go on to pick up arms. So I'm bringing us back. That's why I say it's press reset. This was the first framework that would have been created before the IG, before armed resistance, if that is the path he wanted to go. So the SCCA establishes clear civic rules, lawful boundaries, continuity beyond individuals. That means if this crisis persists, this tool can remain to solve, stabilize the society even after some are gone. It is institutional thinking, not individual hero-like thinking. So, also, accountability mechanism, that is what it is. An accountability mechanism and discipline representation. Without this, no one can speak credibly for the people. Not internationally, not legally, not morally. That is why this framework is important. It's just a 4-page document. The Southern Cameroon's civic authority framework is a very important instrument, very important tool, because without it, no one can speak credibly for our people. Not internationally, not legally, not even morally. So I want you to listen to me carefully, because sequencing is everything. Step 1, step 2, step 3. It's very important. Phase 1, controlled circulation. We have to control how this document circulates in our community. We are thinking as people who want to build a country now. And this is how we rise above this noise in Africa. This framework is not for mass release. It's not for social media battles. You get exhausted, go nowhere, argue with people endlessly, and nothing to show for. It is not for emotional crowds, because a lot of our people emotional. It must first be shared privately and deliberately with people who understand responsibility, not noise. You see the banks around the Northwest and the Southwest, you see those institutions, they were built by people who understood responsibility, not noise. The individuals include lawyers, humanitarian professionals, serious elders in our community, institutional thinkers, and a select diaspora professionals. These are the people eligible to study this document. We'll have a one-on-one with them, get to know them before we share this document. This is what will guide our community until this issue in the Southern Cameroons is resolved, because we can't just allow the community like that and hope that things will change. So we need some structure in this process. Why? Because this phase is not about popularity, it's about discernment. It reveals who truly cares about the people and who only cares about power. We use frameworks to separate these people, the sheep from the goats. This separates those who think in terms of institution and continuity from those who only want titles without plan. I want to be the president, I want to be the secretary with no plan. Don't worry. Once we have established this foundation, you will be able to fight on that foundation to become president or whatever you desire. Anyone who rushes to claim leadership without respecting this process is already disqualified themselves. Let me repeat that again. Anyone who rushes to claim leadership without respecting this process is already disqualifying themselves. Institutions are built quietly before they are recognized publicly. Every company that you hear talked about in America was built this way. Whether it is just two people in their father's garage that started Apple Computer, or the Wright brothers who brought about flight, they had a close circle of people where they sat together and came up with great ideas, the entire America just benefits from their creativity. That is how institutions, whether it's companies, whether it's a nation, is created. Policies and laws that you enjoy today, that gives you freedom, was not created on social media with everyone writing under the comment section or people calling on phone to give their input. This is how Britain built legitimacy. This is how every durable state you see on earth was formed. So now let's address something difficult. Are you ready? Some have said to me, what you have said is the truth. And because you are speaking the truth, the enemy will kill you. Again, worry about yourself. Do not worry about me. I've gone way back as 4,000 years to connect with our ancestors. They are standing around me here as I speak. Our ancestors who migrated from Sudan to Adamawa to Bambafia to the Bamenda Highlands, some of them don't even have a clue about this story. They thought they just appeared in 1961 or before 1961. We have gone through a process, and I've gone as far back as possible to tap into that energy. And so our ancestors came down there with a plan to build a society where their children will flourish. And that plan will not be aborted. It will be fulfilled in our lifetime. So don't worry about me. I got this under control. Let them try. Let them try. You get it? Just the thought, your business, your relationship, anything you lay your hand on, you will start having internal problems. In your marriage, everything about your life will go wrong. Just the thought of hurting someone like me in this dispensation. And then you are going to physically try, and then you understand. I'll just leave it like that. I want to say this calmly because we don't need emotions to solve this problem. The truth does not kill people. Fear kills people. The truth does not kill people. Fear kills people. Chaos kills people. And the belief that violence is inevitable gives intimidation its power. Let me repeat that again. The truth does not kill people. Fear is what kills people. Chaos is what kills people. And the belief that violence is inevitable gives intimidation its power. Violence is inevitable. That belief that the gun is everything, that, my people, gives intimidation its power. You can't threaten me. I won't bow to ignorance. I only bow to the truth. Some of our people haven't even got to the place where they understand what I just said. Leadership is not proven by recklessness or martyrdom. It is proven by whether the work survives and advances. That is why this work must not rest on one person. It must be anchored in documents, institutions, timelines, records, and collective responsibility. When truth stands on evidence, it does not need a single body to defend it. That is the difference. Which brings me back to history. We cannot build a future on contradictions. That is why you see I took the time to clarify our journey, bring out the most accurate facts about our history so that we can all have perspective, a lens through which we see the world together as one. If someone claims independence in 1960 like von Gojin-Dinka did, yet the United Nations supervised plebiscite took place on February 11, 1960. Both claims cannot be true. One is wrong and the other is right. This is not interpretation, it is chronology. So that has nothing to do with interpretation, just chronology. We can't have the plebiscite on the 11th February 1961 and someone is talking about Southern Cameroons having their independence in 1960. Chronology. Accepting contradictions because they feel comfortable is not loyalty. It is shared ignorance. So even from our camp, Southern Cameroons, and in La République du Cameroun, any error detected from both sides, I clarify that. You've seen it from Maurice Kamto, Issa Chiruma Bakari, Paul Biya, Amado Ayijo, on our side, Foncha, Gojin-Dinka, Professor Carson Anyangwe. I bring about clarity on both sides because we are looking for the truth, not trying to take sides. That kind of mediocre politics takes us nowhere. Clarity does not weaken a cause. It strengthens it. What I am bringing in should give you strength. And citizens of La République du Cameroun, as you understand this, you start focusing on the right thing to build your country and not just looking up to the authority with the hope that they are right and they are guiding you to the right direction. You get to think for yourself. So until we learn to value discipline over noise, structure over emotion, and institutions over personalities, we will keep producing heroes, but never a state. We will keep shouting, but never building. Respect for leadership does not mean blind obedience. It means understanding role. It means protecting those who carry responsibility instead of tearing them down. No community rises above the way it treats its own builders. Let me repeat that slowly. No community will ever rise above the way it treats its own leaders, treats its builders. You will never rise above that. Let someone sell you another story. So if we want dignity, stability, and progress, we must change how we think. Metanoia, transformation of the mind. That is why we are going for a first world nation in Africa. It will require a certain level of thinking, quality of mind. So if we want dignity, we want stability and progress, we must change how we think. Not just what we demand. You can demand progress, demand change. Are you willing to pivot to accommodate what you are demanding? Order must come before expansion, because order becomes the foundation where expansion builds on. Institutions must come before mass action, because we are encouraging La République citizens to become Ambazonia. to pick up arms and become like Ambazonian. Oh, the people failed Issa Chiroma Bakari. No, he lacks competence to lead. So he doesn't understand what institutional thinking is all about. I said I will not share ideas on what will help him. I want to watch everything die down, and then I will show you what I would have done if I were Issa Chiroma Bakari. Even right now, he could do something. But Issa Chiroma Bakari becoming president has nothing to do with Southern Cameroons. It has nothing to do with our case. He won't help us in any way. Many don't know that. Because he said he will sit down and negotiate. No, negotiate what? Are you UN? Him saying that instantly told me he doesn't understand this case. When you know the truth, you're calmer people, you're not worried. When people are ranting, time will tell. Let everyone back. Talk. Have you noticed some people struggle over an issue for 10, 15, 20 years, and you see someone come around with a clear thinking, and all of a sudden in 2 years, that person makes progress more than those who have been around for 20 years? You've probably seen that in life. There are some Gen Zs right now that are millionaires just through cryptocurrency, through trading, through businesses. They have become millionaires because all those fingers are not equal. Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook. He is a billionaire. Look at his age and look at the age of the average American in their 70s. They are not Mark Zuckerberg. People don't understand these principles. They hear them for formality. You have to internalize them. So truth must come before comfort. I learn to settle in the truth. This helps me to have perspective about life. So this is not about me. It's not. This is about us, a people, former British Southern Cameroons, Southern Cameroonians, and whether we are ready to grow or not. Are we ready to grow? Ask that question to your fellow Southern Cameroonians. Ask them. This should be the question we ask each other. Are you ready to grow? And those who think age is everything, I want you to harbor the position Nicodemus had when he met Jesus. Be born again. All the elders in our community, you have to be born again. Because Jesus Christ saw Nicodemus and how old he was. And he told him, what I have, this truth, this information, in order for it to penetrate you, you must be born again. He said you have to be born again. You can't take in this information with the same thinking you have right now. You have to be born again. Become a child. Children are curious. They ask questions. They are inquisitive. Born again. With that, they learn and they grow faster than the average adult. While we think those in the past already know and they understand better, they did the right thing, and so we have nothing to improve. The American Constitution has amendments, 27 amendments. That means the younger generation, those who came afterwards, saw what their founding fathers did and made some corrections and amendments. And that includes even abolishing slavery and slave trade. Amending the laws and saying black people can now vote, women can now vote. Those who think those in the past knew better. No, Americans rose up and said, we see what our founding fathers did, but this is the world we live in today. We will make amendments to accommodate this current generation. And future generations will make further amendments on the American Constitution. And then we are talking about Southern Cameroons. And we say, oh, the Elders in the past knew better. Make amendments. Don't insult people. Don't fight people. No, confront people with the truth. Do something different. Be courageous. Care about your people enough to confront them with their own truth so that you all can make progress. So we don't all wallow in poverty and suffer and waste our time on earth. Because we think if you stay in a problem for a very long time, then you are an expert. That is not true. Share this video with a friend or a loved one, and let's keep learning. Let's keep educating ourselves. We have a long way to go. If we learn fast, the journey will be fast. If we are slow, the journey will be slow. And so is the UN waiting for us. So is the international community waiting for us to adopt this new thinking, cooperate, have an input, contribute to the well-being of your people.